A promise is a promise. We are ending 2024 with a glorious, and I mean glorious, triumph. Should I tell them? Why, I think you should. Friends, Romans, countrymen. Oops. Sorry. It is time. Grab your sword and shield. Eat some true Roman bread. Drink some true Roman wine. And make love to your true Roman wife. It's time to save the world. It's time to join the campaign. Are we going to fight? We save the world with Aurelian. That's right. So this is from History Much. All right. This is a full-on series about the restorer of Rome, Aurelian himself, the emperor. Not the conqueror or destroyer, the great, the best there ever is, and truly he is, always will be. He has a different title. Restorer of the world. Now, my friends, we travel back in time, and maybe this time things will be different. We save the world, my friends. Hold on, make sure this is right. The light's not working. We save the world. Boot up and suit up. We join Aurelian. So, my true Romans, let us enjoy this video in a 3, a 2, and an uno.
Amidst the rugged mountains on the dry, arid stretch of the Syrian steppe lay a wealthy city in a lush, fertile oasis. Adorned with sumptuous colonnaded streets, tetrapylons, majestic temples, spacious agoras, theatres and baths, elaborate stone reliefs, monumental Valley of the Tombs, and administrative government buildings, the city of Palmyra was the jewel of the Middle East and a melting pot at the crossroads of culture, with Roman, Greek, Aramean, Arabian, and Persian influences all on display. For over 30 years, this was the place that Queen Zenobia called home.
Her. Zenobia. Dido's curse. Cleopatra reborn.
She wove together the obligations of kinship, patronage, and civic solidarity that Palmyra demanded of its notables. But in the scorching sunlight of the late summer of 272 AD, the queen stood on the steps of the Temple of Baal with a troubled brow, her troops posted on the outskirts of the city. She firmly grasped her cloak in her hand as the smoke and fragrance of lingering incense filled the air, and the sounds of solemn hymns, sung to flutes, drums, and tambourines, reverberated in the majestic hall. With a camel at her side, carrying a shrine in which a sacred stone was shrouded, Zenobia intoned prayers and made offerings of oil and wine, asking her god Baal for protection against those she perceived to be the invaders of her empire. However, the Emperor Aurelian deemed Zenobia's authority to be illegitimate and her bid for power unsanctioned.
Yeah,
and he came
here's
to
our
Palmyra
boy
at the head of an army to settle the matter once and for all. This video is brought to you by our friends over at CuriosityStream. As their long-time subscriber, I recommend their history documentaries where you can find topics from ancient, medieval, and more modern times. But if you're interested in other topics, CuriosityStream is a streaming service that features thousands of some of the best, highest quality educational documentaries out there. One you should check out is The Planet of Treasures, a wonderful documentary series about the World Heritage Sites and places of special beauty created by humans and nature, hosted by Cambridge historian Sir Christopher Clark. And as our viewer, you get a special discount. Go to curiositystream.com/historymarsh to get unlimited access to the world's top documentaries and non-fiction series, and use the code HISTORYMARSH when you sign up to save 25%. That's just $15 per year, much more affordable compared to other streaming services. And by signing up on CuriosityStream, you'd also help support our channel.
Very good.
Located in the semi-desert steppe of eastern Syria, Palmyra was a powerful city on the eastern edge of the Roman Empire. It derived the majority of its wealth from its location on the caravan trade routes of the Middle East. The city's merchants were renowned for their ability to secure safe passage of goods through treacherous country, from one water source to another, especially during the dry season. Palmyrene traders operated throughout the empire and, more crucially, played a major role in connecting Roman Syria to the Middle Euphrates, and from there the Persian Gulf. Since the times of Emperor Caracalla, Palmyra enjoyed the status of a colonia. However, in the middle decades of the third...
It's Shapur. Don't look. The evil one, who would give rise to so many other foul evil ones.
Century AD, when the Sassanids fought Rome for control of Armenia and Upper Mesopotamia, Palmyra attained a heightened political and strategic significance under the leadership of a prominent local aristocrat, Septimius Odaenathus. The instability of warfare in the region threatened Palmyrene trade, and Rome expected the Palmyrenes to provide for their own security. This inadvertently helped the city to create a martial tradition of its own, and in the 240s and 250s, Odaenathus used the reputation he had built up through his successful protection of the caravan routes from raiders and his position as commander of Palmyra's cavalry and dromedary archers to secure his dominance over the city and its civic council. By 251 AD, he and his eldest son, Herodian Hieron, were being honored in Palmyra as Resh, or leader, an unprecedented title among the Palmyrene elite. The two continued to amass power, claiming consular rank by 258, and in 259 Odaenathus campaigned against the Persians, sacking the city of Nihadia on the Euphrates.
All right. Handling things like a true Roman should.
Odaenathus's greatest opportunity then came in spring 260, when Emperor Valerian was captured by the Persians at the Battle of Edessa. Valerian's son Gallienus was left as sole ruler of Rome, but the disaster of an emperor falling captive in battle sparked a crisis of loyalties. A cascade of usurpers sprung up across the empire. In the unstable frontier regions, ambitious men seized power, usually elected by the troops or the local
You foolish fools!
aristocracy, greatly contributing to the erosion of imperial authority and the decline of its internal structures. The populace suffered against incursions that were becoming increasingly difficult to check, most notably an Alemannic invasion of Italy that had already begun even before Valerian's capture, and which Gallienus eventually crushed outside Milan.
That's way too close to Rome. Why? Why would you idiot? Work together, be smart.
As well as Aurelian and Gothic raids that saw the sacking of numerous cities.
Whoa! Even Byzantium? But for some reason that city should be renamed, but only once. What should we call it? What do you think? I don't know. Something starts with the letter C. What do you think? I think so.
Cities in Greece, Macedonia, Thrace, and Asia Minor, including Byzantium, Argos, Corinth, Sparta, Olympia, and Athens, as well as the destruction of one of the wonders of the ancient world, the temple of Artemis at Ephesus.
Filthy barbarians.
In the west, General Posthumus, his Rhine army, and the governors loyal to him broke away from central authority, forging a Romano-Gallic regime with Posthumus as emperor,
Traitors!
further rocking an empire seemingly on the brink of disintegration. The Roman East was just as turbulent. Macrianus, one of the main fiscal officers of the empire, grabbed the opportunity, using his influence as Valerian's treasurer to march on Rome. Planning to seize the capital, he took with him his eldest son, Macrianus Minor, intending to elevate him to the throne in the west. He left his younger son Quietus in charge of the eastern provinces, supported by the Praetorian prefect Ballista, who was instrumental in propping up Macrianus's sons to the imperial throne. The momentum to usurp the throne gathered behind Macrianus, but his army was intercepted and defeated in Thrace, with both he and his eldest son killed in the encounter.
Good. Fantastic.
Meanwhile, Quietus and Ballista lost control over the eastern provinces. In a calculated show of loyalty to Emperor Gallienus, Odaenathus marched on Emesa and overthrew what remained of the usurper regime.
Good.
It was a clever move. Gallienus recognized Odaenathus's de facto authority, who was subsequently honored as restorer of all the East, essentially becoming the viceroy of Rome's most eastern provinces.
Well done. Well done indeed. I'm sorry I cast a doubt early on. Things are going pretty good,
This
even though it's a crisis.
gave him authority over Roman governors and military forces in Syria and Upper Mesopotamia, which Odaenathus used to great effect to help push the Persians out of the eastern provinces, recapturing Roman fortresses of Carrhae and Nisibis.
Good.
In a brazen move showing his ambitions, he had declared himself King of Kings, a challenge to the imperial claims of Shapur the
Take that, Shapur. You bastard.
First of Persia. In 262 and 266, he twice invaded Persian-held Lower Mesopotamia, reaching as far as the Persian capital Ctesiphon on both occasions, but was unable to take the city. In 267, on the emperor's orders, he also campaigned against Gothic and Aurelian raiders in Asia Minor.
That's right. Get them out of Anatolia.
By now, Odaenathus had reached the apex of his power. However, members of Gallienus's court and Palmyra's elite were viewing his and his family's growing ambition with increasing concern.
Oh, no.
Although the details vary between the sources, it appears that in 267 or 268, Odaenathus and his son Herodian were assassinated in a joint Gallienic Palmyrene conspiracy.
Stupid.
The plan backfired. Far from destroying the power of his dynasty, his widow Septimia Zenobia took matters into her own hands.
Ugh.
She propped up her young son Vaballathus as the new restorer of the entire East.
Her douchebag son. Whatever. Put his head on a pike.
Thereby treating her husband's viceroy position as hereditary, with herself taking the title of queen and ruling as regent. She wisely chose not to break ties with the imperial court, as she was not yet ready for war, but no one was left in doubt of the influence she possessed in the East. Gallienus did not accept that Odaenathus's position as viceroy, which he himself granted in the first place, could be passed on to Zenobia's son. However, the establishment of Palmyra in the east, coupled with the failure to defeat the Gallic Empire in the west, seriously weakened Gallienus. The stability of the Roman Empire deteriorated further still when he too was assassinated in September 268.
Seems to be a whole lot of assassinations going on during this 3rd century.
Different accounts of the incident are recorded, but they agree that senior officials wanted Gallienus dead. The new emperor Claudius managed to bring some stability. He stopped the Alemannic invasion of Raetia and Italy at Lake Benacus. He then marched east to meet a major Gothic invasion in the Balkans. At the Battle of Nisus, he achieved a major victory over the barbarians.
Good.
However, the continuation of the war was less conclusive due to the outbreak of the plague, which affected the Romans, but savaged the Goths even worse.
Well, hey, look, anything that deals with the foul beasts from Germania, all good to me.
Many Goths who survived were either admitted into the Roman legions or had lands assigned for them to cultivate. Preoccupied with matters in the Balkans, Claudius sent an expedition against Zenobia under Heraclianus, a former Praetorian prefect, to reassert control over the east. The details are unknown, but the campaign was a disastrous failure for the central government. This was the point of no return. Recognizing weakness in the empire's central authority, in the spring of 270, Zenobia sent an expedition of her own to conquer the Roman province of Arabia. This campaign, commanded by her general Zabdas, defeated the Cyrenian 3rd Legion, killed its commander, and subdued its troops.
No.
Later that summer, the Queen launched an invasion of Egypt with an army consisting of Palmyrines, Syrian legionnaires, mercenaries, and barbarians. It was a grueling, hard-fought campaign, but Zenobia's forces successfully took Egypt. Despite the setback in the east, in the empire's west, the Gallic Empire was similarly unstable, and the assassination of Postumus in 269 had prompted a series of defections. Claudius's trusted general Placidianus seized the moment and took control of southern Gaul after several victories.
Good.
Hispania followed suit, breaking their allegiance to the new Gallic emperor Victorinus and declared their loyalty to Claudius. But the emperor would not live long enough to reunite the lost territories. In the summer of 270, he journeyed to Sirmium, where he prepared for a campaign against the Vandals who were raiding Pannonia. On the way, he fell victim to a pestilence, likely the plague of Cyprian, a form of smallpox, and he died in August 270. His younger brother Quintilius, currently stationed at Aquileia, was declared emperor by the Senate. But, in an act typical of the crisis of the 3rd century, the new emperor was not recognized by the legions that served under Claudius, who instead threw their support behind his right-hand man, the talented Illyrian cavalry.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the protagonist and main character of this story called Earth. The hero!
General Lucius Domitius Aurelianus, more commonly known as Aurelian. It looked like more war and turmoil would engulf what remained of the Roman Empire. But the reign of Quintilius proved extraordinarily brief, possibly lasting as few as 17 days. He committed suicide, realizing he had little hope against the army of Aurelian. The Senate now recognized Aurelian as the new emperor.
Very good.
But he inherited a state in a dismal condition that had been disintegrating for the past 20 years. Vast territories remained outside of central imperial control, some for nearly a generation. Internal turmoil encouraged pressure from external enemies, and renewed incursions by the tribes north of the Danube spread devastation deep into the interior. And, with yet another emperor seizing power, the threat of civil wars again grew as new usurpers arose, exploiting the imperial insecurities and the influence of armies on Roman politics. The spiraling political and economic crisis impacted agriculture and commerce the most, which was compounded by the pestilence that had first swept through the empire around the year 250, greatly diminishing manpower for the armies and taxation. Nonetheless, the new emperor steeled himself for the difficult road ahead.
That's right.
In the east,
So we're going to pause here. We're going to pause here because we're going to break this down into a couple of parts. But we're going to pause here because now, folks, we're going to enjoy this like a fine meal because this is an hour and 13-minute long segment. So I want everyone to be ready to boot up and suit up to continue the campaign. But the board is set. The game is afoot. There are factions and groups who want to destroy the Roman Empire. And we're not going to let that happen. Exactly. Because this time around, we're going to save the world. We are going to save the world with Aurelian. So, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Support the original content creator. And now the game is set. Now we play again. But this time, we win by winning. Time to save the world, folks. And what a good way to end 2024. With the victorious campaign for 2025.